torpedo that sunk the Cheonan and took the lives of 46 South Korean sailors was fired by a North Korean submarine.
Once every few years, a game is released that redefines the first-person shooter genre. These games bring gameplay to places it's never been before and dazzle us with their innovation. Much more often, though, games are released that just try to cash in on these innovations, bringing nothing but a few cheap gimmicks and subpar design to an already crowded genre. Homefront is a game that not only sits comfortably in the second category, but it almost defines it completely. Before the game was released, I was actually really excited for it. I even pre-ordered it on Steam. I not only went into the game with an open mind, but was actually rooting for it to succeed. Unfortunately, the campaign left me totally disappointed. Homefront is a game that keeps writing checks its design can't cash. An ambitious narrative combined with cloned Call of Duty gameplay still makes for a Call of Duty clone, and this is the crux of why the game continually fails. It's constantly struggling to find its own voice in all the wrong ways. Clearly, a lot of money was spent on writing Homefront. The game had several writers, including screenwriter John Milius, who wrote Apocalypse Now and Red Dawn. But there were no good design choices made to serve the writing, so it ended up being wasted. The encounters in this game consist of waiting for your allies to open the next door, so you can go hide behind something and shoot the bad guys as they pop up from behind cover like whack-a-moles. Occasionally you'll get to control Goliath, who's an oversized RC car of death, but when you do, your targets are mostly all decided for you, so it just becomes another menial task instead of a true gameplay option. In fact, the game is so bad about holding your hand throughout that there are times when you can't even shoot someone until one of the other characters tells you to. These types of things do not make for a fun experience. Add to all this the fact that I finished the game in less than 5 hours, and it becomes pretty easy to see why I can't recommend this game as anything other than maybe a Steam sale or a bargain bin purchase. Now, not everything about the Homefront campaign is bad. There are certainly some spectacular moments sprinkled throughout, and there's a helicopter mission that puts most other similar levels in other games to shame. The voice acting is good and the story is deep and well thought out. But as I said, all these things can only enhance a game that gets the game part right. The game's credits are much shorter than most other AAA titles, which tells me the Kaos team might have been underfunded by THQ, and that most of the money was spent on marketing instead. Maybe if there's a sequel that will change and we can see what the developers are truly capable of. But THQ's announcement of success that I mentioned earlier doesn't give me a lot of hope. So again, my verdict on this game is definitely to wait until the price drops before buying it. That's if you're interested in a single-player game anyway. The multiplayer is still a mixed bag, but I think it falls closer on the side of being pretty decent. It's been called a combination of Call of Duty and Battlefield, and I think that's actually a pretty good description, although I'd throw in some mag as well. The maps are large and filled with vehicles, and there's a nice leveling system. I did have some problems with bugs, mostly getting stuck in the geometry, and the campers can be pretty annoying. There's enough decent content here that if you really need a wargame fix, this might do it for you. That said, it's still not enough for me to recommend this as a full package. Hopefully if there's a sequel, THQ and Kaos can bring us something a little more interesting and a little longer. This has been Rob with Resonance Games, and thanks for watching.